Hello, everybody. That is about full disclosure about the fifth time I've said that because every time I sat down to say hello, everybody, I figured out that I was missing something. So, hi, this is take number 4 or 5. It is Friday, June 30th. My name is Amy. My Flosstube channel is called Mimi Stitchery, and this is mostly about cross stitch. I also have some knitting today. I will keep that to the end, so those of you that want to peace out after the cross stitch, go ahead. Um, if you're new here, welcome. I've had new subscribers. I don't know what I'm up to now, but it is over 1,000 now. When I came to you last time, I had just reached 1,000, and I was doing a giveaway of a $25 gift certificate to an LNS of your choice. So we will do that at the end of the video. So if you commented on my last video, you will want to stick around to see if you've won that. But so we're in my kitchen. The lighting's better out here. We are a little bit smoke laden at the moment. The lighting is better out here, so I decided to do it out here. You'll see mess here because we're also getting ready to leave tomorrow morning for Vermont for a week. I'm officially off of work for a month. I can't even tell you how good that feels right now. But we have stuff here that needs to go out to the camper. But I really truly wanted to get this video up before we left so that I could take care of the gift certificate if at all possible before I go. So let's get on with this. I do have a finish. I have a start. I have not very many whips to show you because I have a finish. But I did work on a couple of other things. And I will show you my plans for July and specifically my plans for next week when I'm out of town. If you don't know, my husband and I have a camper. We started RVing a couple of years ago now. Last year we went on, it was almost 21 days. We were gone, 21-day trip. Had planned to go to Yellowstone. Yellowstone flooded. We changed tracks. We ended up going to Missouri and then on Route 66, which my husband absolutely loved that trip. So did I. But that was definitely more his jam. And this week we can't go away for a long trip this week or this summer because our daughter's getting married in August. So, but we're going to take a couple of week-long trips. So this coming week we're going to Dorset, Vermont. We're going to go there for a week with our dogs, and we're going to enjoy and rest. My husband will work from the camper for one day of it, but other than that, we'll be free to explore. So you have me house mess and all, disheveled hair because I did work a half day today, and then came home once I got some things done and tied up for my month off, and here we are. So I have a little bit of haul too. That will probably be the end of my haul. And more on that because we are on a spending freeze again. So, yeah. So more on that. But I have a little bit of haul here to show you. But let's start with my finish. Nothing's ironed as per usual. I finished, I don't need to show you the printout. I finished Emily's House by Lindy Stitches. And here she is. I used my own color conversion out of my stash because at the time that I kitted this, the supply issues were happening. So the house is a Belsois silk. These peacock colored flowers are also a Belsois silk. I changed the dog to be a yellow lab because I have Ralph, who's a yellow lab. And yeah, it is done. Not ironed. And I don't know how I'm going to FFO it. Probably I'm going to frame it. But it's done. So that's my finish. Oh, so that took longer than I thought it was going to take to finish. I'm not sure if it was my stitching speed or life I know there was a couple of days that I was having some aches in my hands and could not stitch, so I know that played into it. But it did take me way more than I thought it was going to take as far as days. I really thought it would be no big deal and it would whip up. And Gail from Gail's Gold Needle was trying to finish hers with me, and she got way ahead of me, but she held off and waited and put those last 20 stitches in with me on one of our Sunday Zooms. So she finished that Sunday morning. I finished that Sunday evening after stitching all day. And I mean all day. I got like 1,500 stitches in. So I was stitching all day. But it's done, and I'm happy it's done. I'm kind of sad that stitch is over, which is how I feel always, which is, I wonder if that's why I don't finish many things. Sorry, I have itchy nose. Something to be said. I'm sure there's a study out there that says that people that don't ever finish anything struggle with the feeling that they get when they don't when they finish something. So that's why they don't. But who knows? I just keep looking outside because I'm in the living room, and so there's tractors going by. I live out in the sticks, so we got farmers all around. Lots of activity out here. The next thing I worked on was Halloween Quaker, because in June, Fall Halloween was what was called for WIPGO. So I went right to Halloween Quaker. My thought on Halloween Quaker was to stitch on it until the end of June, which would have been today, and hopefully finish it. That's not what happened. I stitched on it for a solid week, and I did get pretty far, but I did not finish it. And it became obvious that I was not going to be able to finish it, so I just put it down, and I'll show you what else I worked on. But this is Halloween Quaker. This is stitched on 28 count Anubis. A stitchy friend told me that's the Egyptian god of death. I'm like, boy, is that appropriate and scary that I'm stitching on it. It's 36 count Anubis, or 28 count, sorry. And sorry, my phone's on. I have to check because my husband's out doing some stuff and I need to make sure he doesn't need anything. Hold, please. Sorry, he's having a frustrating day. Anyway, it's 28 count Anubis from Under the Sea Fabrics. I'm stitching it 2/2 full cross, and this is how far I've gotten. I feel like I'm talking really fast, so if I am, I apologize. I did do a lot. I finished the skeleton motif, I finished the cat motif, I finished that smoke motif next to the bird with the berries. I put in the, I think it's an owl, yep, an owl. Those small little patterns, the bats. I did that upper motif, finished the witch, the moon, and the broom, and then started on the motif over here. And my idea at the time was to work all the way to the other corner. And then I simply just lost steam on Halloween, I think. But that's where I am. I believe, I'm going to look it up here on Pattern Keeper for a second. I think I'm halfway done, and I think that's why it became obvious to me that another week wasn't going to be enough. Sorry, I have wash going, so if you can hear that, then sorry about that. Sorry, getting into Pattern Keeper. This is what happens when I try to do these on a busy day. So sorry. So I am 50.01%. So I have 9,001 stitches out of 17,997 completed. That is going to go with me on my trip next week, even though the WIPGO calls, I completed my WIPGO for June. The WIPGO calls for July are different, but I want to take it with me. If I feel like pulling it out, I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to work on it. The other item that I worked on was, let's pull it up, shall we? It is Bonded by the Rain. You guys have seen this before if you've been here any period of time. It is artwork by Leonid Afromov. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I've been working on this. This I'm doing for my husband and I. Interesting side note, today is the 28th anniversary of our first date. So there you go. I'm doing it. I'm stitching this on 25 count. I'm doing it 2 over 1/10, and I'm going to leave it on my frame and just show it to you. Let's see if I can get something to put behind it though, because the light's going to go right through it. And there you go. That's it. I've been working some other threads in. I was doing Royal Rose, and then it gets to the point where there's too many threads on there for me, so I start working them in. But making progress all the way over to the other corner. So I'm gradually just going to fill in and then work down. I am also taking this with me camping. Just because it's on my radar. And I like to get decent progress before I move on. And the only other whip that I have to show you is another full coverage. I have birds fighting at the bird feeder now. This one I started with Tiffany from Black Cat X Stitchery. This is called Blu-ray. This is the mini Blu-ray that I have. I don't remember if she has the mini or the regular. So maybe she can comment below to let me know. This is the mini regular colors. So it's got 90 colors. And this is what it is. It's artwork by Leah Roche, I think is how you pronounce her name. And this is it. Sorry about the glare. I'm stitching this on 25 count. I started it 1 over 1 full cross. I'm going to convert it to 2 over 1/10 simply because I enjoy that much better, much more. And I haven't gotten a ton done. I probably have a total of 535 stitches for a percentage of 0.65%. But let me try to show this to you. So here we go. Not much to see yet. Tiffany's much farther along and she's seeing much more color variation. I'm not there yet. I've been trying to get some other stuff done, but I do plan to work on this once I get back from my vacation. This is not going with me. Not going with me. You'll notice that sometimes going with me, I'm very systematically putting to my right. So that I remember. Whip Go calls were called for July. That is all the whips that I worked on. So I've been, as if you can't tell by the amount of whips, I've been not monogamous, but way more focused in my stitching. That's just what I'm feeling like doing right now. So I'm doing that because it's making me happy. And yeah, I'm enjoying getting some things done. Whip Go call for July was 13, 21, and 9. So 13 is the free space if you chose to keep it free. I didn't keep it free. Why would I keep it free? I have enough projects. I need to put a project in there. So my 13 is a full coverage. So for that box, I'm going to bring out my oldest whip, Lost No More. If you've been here a while, you know it, you love it, because you see it all the time, and I get the most comments on this one over anything. This is Lost No More. It's a Dimensions Gold kit. I forget who did the artwork. I always have to look. Greg K. Olson. I am stitching this on the kit fabric with the kit floss. I did contact Simplicity and got a digital, because I actually started this in the 90s. If you haven't been around here, my paper pattern is pretty much disintegrating. So they sent me a pattern that I now have on Pattern Keeper. It's not completely Pattern Keeper friendly. I can't search for items. I can just check off what I've done, but it does make it a ton easier than reading the paper patterns. This is, I can tell you, because it's on Pattern Keeper, it does give me a pretty close percentage. It looks like I'm about 78% done. My goal is to get this done this year. So this will go into the full coverage slot. This is where I am right now. The other real bonus to this one is that I can stitch this in hand pretty easily. So to take it camping, it's a really nice one to take camping. So I'll be working on that for my full coverage. The other two numbers that were called 21 and 9 are both the same category for me. They are winter or Christmas. So I had to think about this because I could have taken one of my dimension stockings and started it, or worked on the one that I've already started. I have quite a few Christmas pieces, but I have two that I've chosen. One will not surprise you. One I'm not even sure you've seen yet this year. So the one of the ones I'm going to take is Royal Holiday. She is the Christmas Queen, or Holiday Queen. Nope, Christmas Queen, Royal Holiday. I am stitching her on Abyss, 28 count Abyss by Fabrics by Stephanie. I'm using the called for threads, the called for everything, except the Krynic I've substituted in DMC Diamant for one of the Krynics. The other Krynic I'm using. And I've worked on her, if you remember, quite a bit so far this year. She's been to retreats with me. 2 retreats. The 2 retreats that I went, the only 2 that I went through, she went with me. And that was my thing at the beginning of the year. I wanted her to go with me because honestly I'd like to get her done so I can spend more time on Queen of Freedom. So this is where she's at. My whole intention today was to do a complete mid-year whip parade. Not happening today. I still may do that, and I had lots of suggestions on my channel when I asked what would you like to see over the summer. And we're going to go through some of those at the end because I thought they were fun. That is fun. All right, here's Royal Holiday. And if you watch Hannah from Hannah Dowling, she's got the complete, she and I are probably about the same amount done. She has the complete top portion done now, and she's put it away until the next time it comes out, and then she'll finish the bottom portion. I've got part of the top, part of the bottom, as you can see. But she is beautiful. I love how she's coming out. I love her skirt. Yeah. I have a few beads in her ear because I wanted to get beading. So she's coming camping. And everybody thinks I'm crazy for taking the fancy projects to camping. I don't care, fancy or elsewhere. I have a camper. It's not like I'm tent camping and they're going to be in the mud. I have a nice 30-foot camper. So it's all good. All right, the other Christmas, winter I'm going to take, and I've started this so long ago now that I would love to get this closer to a finish. This is Kringles by Little House Needleworks, and every time I pull this out, I absolutely love stitching on it. I'm stitching on it on the called for 30 count Parisian gray linen, and I believe it's from Zweigart. Let's see if I can find that sheet. Oh, from Access Commodities, 30 count Parisian gray. I'm stitching it 2/2 with the called for floss. I actually got I think it was a floss pack from that quarter shop at the time. I don't know if they still have them. This was quite a while ago. But here's where I am. And I would love to get more progress on that. I love stitching the roof. I love stitching the bricks. I just love it. And I am toying with changing Kringles to something else. Like my last name, or I don't know. I've been toying with it since I've had it. Honestly, I will probably just leave it Kringles. But those are coming with me camping next week, so that's next week's plan. The rest of July is probably a continuation on those items. I've been trying to stick to WIPGO with a little bit of deviation, and since this month we've got 3 calls, that probably will take up my month. But like I said, I'm taking Bonded by the Rain with me, and I'm taking, no, that's the only other one I'm taking with me, right? No, Howling Quaker. So that'll give me options if for some reason I'm not feeling the others, because you know how that rolls. If I don't feel it, it's not going to get done. So I might as well take some options. So I'm taking a total of 5 projects with me, cross-stitch projects, and I have lots of time to stitch, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to having some downtime where I can read and stitch and knit and go hiking with my husband and see some places that we've never seen, and it's exciting. It's exciting. I look forward to this time every year. It is what it is. Hold on while I grab something. It's out of my reach, but I wanted to grab it. I guess I want to do haul next. So let's do haul. And then we'll do the giveaway winner and discuss comments. And at the end, I will do my knitting. Not a long video, so that's good. Haul. I got my fabric of the month from Grace Notes Fabrics. I get a fat quarter of 36 count. It's linen, and this month it's hazelnut cream, and I don't know if this is going to show up well on here. It's like a pinky brown. I absolutely love it. That's washed out a little bit. I think it's a little deeper than that. That's better. It's like a pinky purpley brown. It's not what I expected. That's a little washed out, but not bad. It was funny, I got this fabric and I'm like, gosh, what can I put on that? And I have a pattern here that might go right on this. But then I contacted Corinne at Grace Notes Fabrics to cancel my Fabric of the Month Club, because I have a whole bin of fabric from Fabric of the Month Clubs, and I really need to start using the fabric that I have. So we've been working on minimalizing here. Yeah. And so you really start to think about your craft items and how much you have. And I have a whole cubby full of linen, and I have a whole nother cubby full of Aida, because I also stitch on Aida. So I really need to start using the fabrics that I have and making them work with projects. Yeah, so I got to do that. So that's my fabric of the month. I won't have any more fabric of the months to show you because I've canceled those. I also watched Teresa Kogut when she did her releases, and I went down that rabbit hole. I bought Wisdom because I love the sentiment of it, and I like the color scheme. Even though it's kind of pinky, I just like it. So I got that. Sorry about the glare, but I'm not taking it out. And then I also bought With Thy Hands, her booklet. I love this needle book here. Here, I don't think I will stitch this whole thing, but I definitely will stitch segments of it, or make a drum. But I love the book, and her books are always so well done, and they have her artwork in it, which I don't get it. It's not my style as far as hanging it in my house. We're kind of industrial minimalists. I mean, we have art in the house. It's just her art is not the style that I hang in my house, but I do love her artwork. But this is one. Hearts to Love, that's called. She's got artwork in the back of her book. I'm not going to show you charts, but I can show you pictures. This is called Molly's Hands. And honestly, I would probably leave the alphabet off and put something else in that verbiage. Maybe put some Stitcher's quote in there, but I do like that. She shows how it's been finished into a needle book, kind of a trinket book. Her charts are easy to read. And then with thy hands, which is the big one that I just showed you on the, on the cover. And I like the thought of like stitching these rows maybe and making that into a drum, or each of the rows and making it into a drum. I'm not a big one on houses, but I kind of like that house. So I got those. And then my friend Kelly was destashing, and she sent me The Bliss Fairy by Nora Corbett. And I'm not usually a fairy stitcher, but I do think I have a granddaughter that might like that. I don't know, we'll see. But I do think she's cute. So, I'm not starting it anytime soon. And that's all I have for you on that regard. So, let's talk about the winner of the giveaway. So the winner is Holly CJ5359. I assume your first name is Holly. Maybe that's your last name. But if you're Holly CJ5359, I'm going to put my email in the description box below this video. Please contact me and let me know where you'd like your $25 gift card. If it's something I can do electronically, provide me with your email, and I will take care of that in the next few days, even while I'm out on vacation. If it's something where I have to go to the store and get it and mail it to you, please provide me your mailing address, and that will not happen until I get back from vacation. So just so you know. But her comment was, I shouldn't say her, their comment. I don't know if it's a her or a him, to be honest with you. Congrats on 1,000 subscribers. I'm excited to just see more of your down-to-earth approach to life. I appreciate that you seem more interested in progress and keeping things fluid and working with your life. Thank you for sharing your corner of the world. I had a ton of comments about we love your crazy and your wayward style of stitching. You being you is exactly what we want to see. Which I can't tell you how much those comments mean to me, because I often feel like that quirky teenager standing in the corner of a dance that doesn't get asked to dance. But I have a lot of people that love seeing the knitting, love seeing the stitching. I have one comment from a friend says, I want to see you start all the things. I think you should make a summer of guilt-free starts, she says, Kelly, my stitchy friend, and enjoy the process. I may be starting more over the summer. I haven't decided yet. I got some congratulations on my graduation for my master's. Lots of people can relate to the fact of being busy but still trying to make time for our crafts, and my life definitely has been busy. The only reason I think that I got over 1,000 subscribers and I have this giveaway at all, or I'm talking about these comments at all, is because Lucky Chance Stitcher, if you're not watching her, you should. Amanda, she is also on Instagram at Lucky Chance Stitcher. She shouted me out on Instagram. And then Catherine from the Needleberry Stitcher also did that on Instagram. And they did that, and instantly I went over 1,000 subscribers. So I'm grateful and thankful to them. I had the pleasure of meeting them during the Stitch North retreat that I went to with my mom, and we had a good time. I'm just cranking through some of the other comments. I think these were the most comments I've had. Catherine, she loves the Fruits of Plenty that's on my wall, and she likes seeing the finish in person. I did take it to Stitch North to kind of brag about that. She wants to learn how to knit socks. So it's so fun to read these comments, and I try, if I don't reply, I at least heart every comment so that you know that I've seen them. And I have to admit, if I've hearted something, I try to heart them so that you know I've seen them and I've read them. and I'm with full intent to go back and reply. And sometimes life is life, and I don't get back there to reply. So I'm sorry about that. But I have some people that want to see more on the mushroom and fern mandala, my chatelaine. You will see more on that. I had debated taking that one to camp as well, but that's definitely going to get some work while I'm off in July. And I had two people let me know that I have international viewers. So thank you. Thank you. I so appreciate you guys coming back every video. It doesn't seem to matter if I put one up every week or if I take some time off and put one up in a month. Everybody comes back to see. So I'm truly thankful. I love this community and I love interacting with you in the comments. So keep it coming. I will have a whip parade coming sometime this summer. I will have a kitted up parade again this summer, which is something I do every year. Just to keep me in check. And the whip parade often will change if you've been around a while, you know this. The whip parade often changes my tact on my stitching because there's projects in there that I have not touched yet this year. And I will tend to put the projects that I've touched on this year away. I will throw whip, go out the window, so to speak, and I will just take those projects one by one and work on them. I have one project that I did work on that I did not show you, and I think I'm going to UFO that project. I'm not liking how it's turning out. I don't enjoy stitching on it to the point where within a couple hours I was frustrated and I put it away. If I decide to UFO that, I will tell you that when I do my whip parade. But that right now, that's sitting on a possible UFO kind of box in my brain. But that's all the stitching I have. The rest I have is knitting. So if you're going to peace out because the stitching is done, I thank you for being here. Have a great day, night, evening, whichever time you're watching me. And hopefully I'll see you soon. If you're sticking around, I only have one knitting whip to show you because I have not made any progress on any of my others. The one knitting whip is the one that I'm committed to finishing this year. It is, I'm going to show you, this is all crinkled now. This is the Hue Shift Afghan. I've said this before, this is still available on Knit Picks. I am doing the Bravo Sport Jewel colorway, which looks kind of like this. There are different colorways to choose from there, and I love doing business with Knit Picks. I'm not affiliated with them. They don't give me a kickback or anything like that. But I like doing Knit Picks because they have several colorways, but if you lose your pattern, like I lost the pattern to this Afghan. I don't know where it went. I don't know what happened to it. I went back on the Knit Picks website, and I was able to sign into my account, and my pattern was there. So Knit Picks is great, and their shipping is fast. Everything's fast. Customer service is fast. I feel like I've never had a bad experience with them. And that being said, I'm sure somebody has. I just haven't. But this is what I'm knitting. This Afghan is knitted in quarters. I'm on the third quarter, so I'm going to show you the first two quarters that I have done just to refresh everybody's memory. So this is the first quarter I finished. This is the second quarter that I finished. And I am currently working through the third quarter, and I am all caught up. So my goal on this Afghan has been 2 squares per week. And it's worked out that I usually get the second square done usually Friday mornings when I knit in the morning, because this is what I start with. My crafting every day is on this Afghan. And then I able most Fridays to start the first block of the next week, and then I take a break from it over the weekend and stitch. But here you go. This is the third quarter that I'm working on. I'm going to kind of hold it sideways. So this is one of the patterns that has the solid squares going. It has solid squares going through the diagonal of the Afghan. And here I've started the square for next week, one of the squares for next week. So here you go. So next week I should have my third row, and then there's only 2 more rows on this one, and then I'll move on to the fourth quarter. It's funny because when you look at the quarters of the Afghan, this I've been teaching myself how to knit, and you can tell the difference between the third quarter and the first quarter as far as you will be able to see in this Afghan, if you're a knitter, you'll be able to see my progression through knitting. And yeah, it's interesting. And I actually like that part. I like that I can see my journey through the Afghan. Yeah, I like it. But that's all the knitting that I have. That is also going with me on vacation. So I can make sure to do that. And keep up with that as I plan. If I keep going as planned, I will have all the inner squares done by October. And then I will be able to have the border done and have it done by the end of the year. So that's the plan. I didn't do this in cross stitch, I'm not sure why, but I have. So I've been tracking my starts and my finishes. I've had 4 starts since the beginning of the year. And I've had 7 finishes. So still more finishes than starts. I'm going to try to keep it that way. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. Thanks for joining me. I'm sorry if I talked fast. I really wanted to get this video done before we left, or before I got busy packing the camper and then just totally forgot about it. And I wanted to get it done during the daytime because with the smoke, the lighting's really not good at later in the day, and I hope the lighting was better today. So thanks again. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate you watching and how much I appreciate your comments. And yeah, it's awesome. I don't think I could have gotten through the busyness of my busy season without having you to chat with, and this Flosstube channel to help me focus on my crafting and how important that is to my mental health. So thank you again, and I'll see you soon. Peace out.